my name is Ali, and welcome to my channel. We are back with Hakuoki Kyoto wins Okita's route. So hopefully this episode I won't be stuttering and stuff like that as much, but like I've told you in other videos, I do not edit. As of right now, I do not have the time due to the fact that I have like an 18-month-old running around. And the only time I do these is when he's napping, and lately he's gone down to just one nap a day. So, anyway, let's just go.
The man claiming to be Kaiman Masu was, in truth, Shuntaro Furitaka, a Choshu spy. You were aware that the Shinsengumi was allowing him to operate in hopes of gathering enemy intel?
Yes, I was, but we didn't have a choice this time. I had to bring him in. Well, it's not like it was a total bust. Like Soji said, they did arrest some guys.
Don't you feel bad for Shimada and Yamazaki? They were staking out to keep an eye on Furitaka.
The corners of Heisuke's mouth twitched into a smile, but Shimada interrupted him to continue.
We appreciate your concern, Toto, but nobody needs to lose any sleep on our account. We were getting nowhere with Masu's the last few days anyway. Okita did us a favor.
Yamazaki nodded in silent agreement. Furitaka's arrest is over and done. We won't hear any complaints. You won't hear any complaints from us about it. I don't know why every time I read Yamazaki I have issues reading it.
Man, you two are the definition of stoic and reasonable. Soji, on the other hand.
It didn't seem Nagakira was going to let Okita, not Soji, well, even though it's the same guy, Okita get away without rubbing his mistake in his face. Both Kai Shimada and Susumu, I guess, I don't know, Yamazaki serve as Shinsengumi officers and spies under Hijikata. Aside from the captains who stay in the Yagi residence, they are some of the few people entrusted with the knowledge of my situation. In other words, these men are highly valued officers within the organization. Despite their resounding support, I felt a rush of guilt sweep over me, and I spoke up. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. Some Ronin were causing trouble, so I tried to get out of the way. I got separated from Okita in the crowd, and I didn't go right back to him. Sorry about that. Before I really realized what was going on, someone just started shouting at me.
But who was tasked with looking after you?
He glared at me, his eyes hard and angry, and my throat tightly clenched into dryness.
The captain of our first division can't even track a charge. Is this the best the Shinsengumi can do?
When I'd first met him, Sanan had been nice, if a little quiet. After his injury, however, it was as if he'd become an entirely different man.
I told her she could go. They were only following orders.
Sanan looked up at Hijikata as Hijikata walked into the room. He gave the commander a tight, wry smile, but got only a peaceful, impartial glance in return.
If you're here, that means you're done interrogating Furitaka, right?
They're going to wait for a day when the wind picks up, then set Kyoto on fire and kidnap the emperor while everyone else is losing their shit. So they say, at least. His voice was calm and measured, but we all felt the import of his words.
Burn down the city? Those Choshu guys are crazier than I thought.
So, they just want to kidnap the Emperor? Seems a little contradictory for a bunch of guys who call themselves imperialists.
Let's see. Oh, wait, wrong thing. Boops. Back. Boops. What the heck is wrong with me? Imperialism. A term for the philosophical and political leanings of those who wanted to remove the shogun as an administrative power for Japan, replaced by the emperor. Whatever their reasons, we cannot ignore them. They're probably meeting tonight. We need to get ready to move out. Understood, Commander.
All right, finally, I'm getting chills.
Okay, weirdo. Even though each man displayed his professionalism differently, They were all clearly prepared. As they quieted down, Hijikata turned toward me, as if he had only just noticed my presence.
We did get some information on Kyoto. Apparently he visited Masu's with some men from the west.
What?
So the rumors that he was seen in Kyoto were true, but that's all there is to it.
My father with someone from the west? But my father went missing in Kyoto. How would he be with someone from the west? But no one had an answer for me. Preparations for the raid began immediately. Within moments, the compound was like a beehive, with soldiers and officers running back and forth. The tension felt thick, enough to cut with a knife. I just realized there's talking in the background. I guess it's too quiet on my end, but anyway, I hope it's not too loud for you guys. I found it affecting me, despite my best efforts. My encounter at Masu's created some of their current headache, and I'd hoped to make up for it. Hey, can I? Oh. It became clear to me that I had very little to offer when it came to preparing for a raid. At the end of the day, all I could do was stay quietly to the side and avoid being a burden. Just then I heard someone's voice out of the blue.
We don't have enough men. Kondo has only 10 soldiers ready to fight. Hijikata and I have 24 apiece, right? Everyone's sick. Not so funny, eh, Saito?
Ah, that's right. There were a handful of men who were bedridden from a swift food poisoning epidemic, leaving them short-handed in battle. They planned on dividing the troops in half. Kondo's troop will go to the Ikeda Inn, and Hijikata's troop will head to Shikoku Inn. Okay, so we're going to go Ikeda Inn, one of the several locations where the nationalist group claiming to support the emperor would what? would gather. Okay. I just X'd out of it too soon. Shikoku Inn, one of several locations where national imperialists gathered. Easy peasy.
So, you think we'll bring them along on this one? It's a night mission. It'd be perfect.
Them?
We lost a couple the other day, but there should still be a few left, right? I heard they won't be seeing combat for a while. They're having some difficulty adjusting. They stop listening to orders as soon as they see blood. It's rather inconvenient.
What? I swore I heard something before about the reaction to blood, but this was something I was not supposed to hear. The two men hadn't realized that I was listening to their conversation, but it was crucial that I don't say anything. I have to say, I've always had, even as a child, I ended up hearing conversations that I shouldn't because I always had really good hearing. That kind of changed once I got older, but so I'd be hearing things I really should not have heard, and I'd be saying it to people like, well, they said this. It's like I never realized it was bad as a child. But then it's like, then I think about it, I'm like, some of that stuff I should not have been hearing. Anyway,
they've got to be spinning in their grave. Didn't they choose to do this so they could fight? Sano, you only say that after someone's actually dead. Yeah, I guess you're right. They aren't really dead, are they? In fact, they're even harder to kill now.
There was no doubt that what I was hearing was not meant for my ears. I shoved my fingers into my ears and closed my eyes tightly. The best I could do was make sure I didn't hear anything else. Dude, you're just making it obvious now that you heard it. Who should I guess this was? I don't know. I'm just gonna do like a dead voice and we'll figure out. Oh, what are you doing here, Yukimura? Oh, it's Kondo. Okay. If I don't know who it is, I'm just gonna do like a dead monotone voice. My eyes flew open to see Kondo in front of me. I couldn't just sit there. I told him the truth, how I'd felt so useless, and left my room to find some way to help.
Oh, of course, I see. I know how you feel. The men are pretty excited, aren't they?
Yes. Excited? More like bloodthirsty, to be honest.
Would you care to join us?
What? That was not what I expected him to say. You mean go on the raid with you? I don't know what I could...
You see, many of my men are out with food poisoning. And a hiccup. So we're sort of understaffed, which I guess under what? I don't remember, but oh well. Well, we could certainly use a messenger, but if you'd rather not, there's no need to feel obligated.
You raise a good point. Now that he mentioned it, I did remember hearing that Kondo's troops only had 10 people in it. Well, alright. If I'll just be a messenger... His face split into a grin, and I found myself on the way to Ikeda Inn to accompany their raid. Kondo's presence was relieving, and his good nature gave me comfort in asking him a question. Kondo? Your uniform is different than the one your men wear. The Shinsengumi's unique light blue uniform made it so anyone in Kyoto would recognize them. However, Kondo's uniform was white, almost cream, setting him apart from his men.
Oh, this white uniform is for charging into dark areas, allowing us to see each other with more clarity.
I see. I didn't know the corpse uniform... Is it Corps or Corpse? I don't know. Uniform came in so many varieties. We are going to... Because corpse sounds like dead person. But I don't know. A white-colored uniform used during the night or special occasions. Their usual uniform was well-fitting, and the color stood out, but this white uniform was more elegant. I smiled while I looked at his uniform, and I braced myself for what was to come. Hour of the Dog. Interesting. Let's look up Hour of the Dog. Approximately 8 p.m. Interesting. Okay. After we arrived at Ikeda, I was sent off on several short errands nearby. I returned to hear Nakakura talking to Okita.
Well, looks like we hit the jackpot on this one. Not sure if they're brave or stupid for meeting right next to a government building.
I knew they'd be here after all. After all, they've always met at Ikeda before.
Sure, but the night Furutaka gets arrested? That just seems sloppy to me. Aren't they afraid of looking suspicious?
Well, obviously, they're somewhat less than normal. They are meeting at the Ikeda Inn, aren't they?
Nagakura and Okita's conversation was very light-hearted, which didn't quite suit the subject matter. Perhaps the Choshu were trying to trick the Shinsengumi. I certainly wouldn't have known. Whatever the reason for their behavior, however, neither Nagakura nor Okita seemed worried. Heisuke noticed me as I approached and jogged over.
So, how'd it go, Chizuru? Did you see anyone from Aizu or the Judiciary Commissioner?
To be honest, I didn't really see anyone nearby.
So they still haven't made their move? We told them even before it started to get dark.
Settle down, Heisuke.
The larger man smacked Heisuke playfully on the shoulder with a bark of laughter.
Besides, it won't do us any good if they show up. If this is gonna help, we've gotta do it ourselves.
Yeah, I guess. It's just... Don't you think running in on our own is a little reckless?
Heisuke frowned, and Takeda, who was on standby behind Heisuke, nodded in agreement.
Charging with this amount of men is reckless. We should wait for the Aizu's domains. We should wait for Aizu domains reinforcements.
If you say so, Takeda. All right. Why don't we wait a little longer?
And we're gonna wait. It's the moon. So pretty. But no matter how long we waited, the officials never came. Hour of the boar. Let's see. Hour of the boar. Okay. Approximately 10 p.m. Interesting. I looked up at the sky. The moon inched itself further across the sky since we've arrived at the Ikeda Inn.
Damn it, it's getting pretty late.
What do you want to do, Kondo? It'd be pretty lame if we just sat here all night.
The chief had been quiet all this time, but when Okita addressed him, he finally stood up to speak.
We can't wait a moment longer. Soji, Nagakura, Toto, you lot follow me.
Okita nodded quietly but firmly. Well, I will secure the front entrance if you guys have it all at it. Ba. Yes.
What? Are you not going to come, Takeda?
It's all good. I mean, we don't want him in the dark, and then mistakenly stabbing us, you know. Oh, actually, we may mistakenly stab him. Okita, what are you suggesting?
No. If you want someone charging, we want someone reliable anyways. So with that said, take care of the outside, Takeda.
Oh, of course.
Yukimura, can you stay away from the Ikeda Inn? Things are going to get dangerous. That place is full of rebel soldiers. We don't intend to allow them to escape, but better safe than sorry.
All right. He stood up, smiled curtly, and ran to the inn. Oh. Wow. Almost doesn't even look like him.
We are the Shinsengumi retainers of the Lieutenant General of the Aizu domain. By imperial decree, you are all under arrest.
Let's look that up. The position held by the Lord of the Aizu domain, Kadamori Matsudaira, was appointed to it by the shogun after earning the rank of Lieutenant General of the Left Guard. Damn, he looks so intense. His declaration was met with a cacophony of yells and screams erupting from out of the inn. Giving the enemy a good loud warning that he's about to kick the tar out of them. That's Kondo for you.
Seems like good form anyway. It's polite to let them know that we're what we're up against.
Oh, so your definition of good form is putting us at a disadvantage?
Heisuke and Nagakura grinned at one another as they sauntered toward the inn. That doesn't look like sauntering to me. Looks more like going full speed ahead. Anyway.
We act with the authority of the government. Resist, and you will be shown no mercy.
Then the battle began in earnest. The yells of men and the clang of swords filled the air, rolling out through the doors and windows of the inn. Oh, jeez. I heard feet pound upstairs and screams of men dying, the wet thud of bodies dropping onto the floor. Oh, I hate to hear stuff like that.
Damn it! There's too many of them! We need backup! Is there anybody still out there?
Well, there was someone, but all the men who'd come with the captains ran around the back and couldn't hear Nagakura. Takeda, on the other hand, was stationed outside to arrest anyone to flee from the building. What should I do? The only person left to go help them was me. But even if I did, what could I do? That was when I heard Kondo.
Soji, are you alright?
Nagakura called out from somewhere else in the inn.
Damn it, Heisuke! Don't die on me!
Oh no! I had no desire to enter the slaughterhouse, with men killing one another. Even if I did, I had no illusions about my skill with the blade. I was sure to be killed before I'd even draw on it. But I could hardly stand around doing nothing. Jeez. I hope this is not super loud on your end. Perhaps, if I couldn't fight, I could rescue the wounded, find them and carry them out of the inn. I made up my mind and steeled myself and ran inside. Instead, it was pitch black. The smell of blood hit me in the stomach like a fist, filling the air. There were dark lumps on the floor everywhere, the bodies of fallen men. Where was Okita and Heisuke? It had sounded like a good idea at the time, but as I looked around the charnel house, I realized there was no way I could carry two men outside. What should I do? We are going to look for Okita. Hopefully this slashing sound goes away soon. I decided I had to look for Okita. I knew I'd caused trouble for him during the noon patrols, but he never called me out for it. It seemed only fair that I try to return the favor. I don't know who Shiro is, but okay. Ah! A Ronin came out of nowhere, falling down the stairs and screaming. My Kadachi was in my hand, but before I'd even realized I'd drawn it. Ooh. Then Kondo's sword slid through his heart. Ooh, God, that's cringy. Sorry. I just watched a man die.
You! What are the rest of our men doing?
He did his best to act calmly, but I could tell my appearance had both surprised and worried him.
I'm sorry, but can you see to Soji? He's upstairs with one of those damnable Ronin.
Why can't I say so?
I doubt he'll lose, but he could still be hurt. His opponent looks to be a difficult one.
Yes, sir. I quickly nodded and ran off through the carnage. I'm going to let you guys go here. I'm just going to let you wait it out for when I do the next episode. So anyway, I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.